Welcome back, guys. This is the King of Weebs here, and this is what if Naruto had 4 of the 9-tailed beasts. October 10th. The Hidden Leaf village is in chaos, and the Yellow Flash, Minato no Mikaze, is defending his home against a masked man who calls himself Madara Uchiha, as well as 4-tailed beasts. Hiruzen Sarutobi, the god of shinobi, was doing what he could to keep the 5-tailed beasts out of the village market and clan districts with the help of the Akimichi clan. The entire shinobi portion of the Nara and the Alborame clan were doing what they could to keep the 7-tailed horned beetle flying around and reducing the damage to the village. The Uchiha and the Hyuga clans were escorting all civilians to shelter to reduce the casualties, as the clones of the 4th Hokage simultaneously used the Flying Thunder God technique to get the tailed beasts out of the village. Only the Toad Sage and the former Sun Daime give chase, being worried about what is to come. When Minato had all 4 Biju in the same place, he attempts to use the dead demon consuming seal, but it is stopped by his wife Kushina. Minato-kun, there are many better options than sealing the Biju, than summoning the Shinigami. A double-layered 8 tetragram seal should work. If I'm also sealed as well, I know I'm not going to live much longer. As I am, I want to at least have some part in my son's life. Hearing the desperate words of his wife and realizing that her words are true, he summons the toad and the sealing altar to prepare the key to the seal. Before he could complete the hand signs for the seal, they both dove in front of the 2 separate claws from different tailed beasts but they were successful in saving their little baby boy. Kushina, I'm placing you in the separate seal that binds the 2 layers of the Hakufuin to Naruto. The essence of your soul will depend on his chakra and the chakra of the Biju. You will awaken in his mindscape when he is able to sustain the constant shadow clone, and he'll be able to see around the time he is supposed to be starting the academy. I won't live long, so write a quick letter to Sarutobi for Naruto. I'll activate the seal. After hearing her husband's last words and seeing that they are both bleeding out from their fatal wounds, she uses a stream of chakra to write hers and her husband's last words on a scroll marked for baby Naruto Uzumaki. And all 4 Biju were sealed along with Kushina. When Jiraiya and Sarutobi came to the battlefield, they only saw a deceased Minato and the clothes of Kushina and Uzumaki near a crying boy with a scroll addressed to my baby boy Naruto Uzumaki. You must be the young Naruto, Hiruzen had said to himself as he picked up the newborn baby with an extremely complex seal on his stomach. Layers on layers on layers of several complex and near impossible seal work had all been merged into one small matrix. Not too long after, Hiruzen picked up the new baby boy. Anbu had flooded the scene. Hokage-sama, what happened to Lord Fourth? With a heavy sigh, Hiruzen knew he would have to take the Hokage seat once more after his successor had given his life to seal away 4-tailed beasts at the same time, but he wanted to keep the boy as far away from the public eye as possible. He also needed to get any suspicion away from the boy by any means necessary. Lord Fourth Minato no Mikaze used the dead demon consuming seal and sealed all 4-tailed beasts within himself, along with the help of our seal master lady Kushina Uzumaki. Hearing the Sandaime speak with such shame in his voice caused the rest of the Anbu to present to be the rest of the Anbu present to be silent, as they were prepared to now, as they prepared the now deceased four Hokages for burial. Hiruzen Sarutobi went straight to the village council chambers to call every council member for an emergency meeting and told the Anbu to drag the council members here by force if necessary. And around half an hour later, the entire shinobi and civilian council were in the chamber. I have brought you all here to get a status report on the village. What is the count of injured and dead? How much damage needs to be repaired, and how many shinobi have we lost? Shikaku Nara was the first to speak, despite the Nara clan's reputation for laziness. Thanks to Lord Forth and his shadow clones flashing the tail beasts out of the village, the damage to the buildings were minimized, and the number of shinobi lost is minimal. The help of both Uchiha and the Hyuga clans to evacuate many civilians, genins and academy students to the mountain shelters further minimized the casualties, but the civilian casualties are grave, as many of the casualties are from falling debris from destroyed buildings. This was mentioned by the Uchiha and the Hyuga clan leaders, as the damage toll was taken and all finances were accounted for. The tension from being in a devastating attack hours beforehand wore off, and the council meeting was almost at the end, until a certain war hawk noticed the Hokage had hand the Anbu codenamed Inu, a newborn to guard for the time being. Hiruzen, who was that child you handed off to the Anbu? Danzo, it's Hokage-sama to you. It is also none of your concern who I deem worthy to take care for. That child, if you need to know, is the son of the only heir to Kushina Uzumaki. My wife helped her birth before the four-tailed beasts attacked the village. Sadly, they both perished in the attack, and her son is all that's left of the Uzumaki line, as far as we know. There may be others scattered in the elemental nations, but I highly doubt that they would willingly come to the leaf if they haven't been discovered already. This council meeting is over. Tsume, can you have your daughter and the rest of her team report to my office as soon as possible? I have something for them. Fugaku and Hayashi, I need both of you in my office with your wives as well. After meeting with Inu and taking over the care of young Naruto, for the time being, Hiruzen waited patiently in the Hokage office for Kushina's Genin team, with nothing but a sleeping newborn in his arms and in his own thoughts. I never thought that I'd have to take back the seat of Hokage. For Minato to lose in battle in his own home village is not something everyone can make happen. Maybe if I read the scroll left to the child, I'd get some answers. The door of the office opened, breaking the Hokage out of his thoughts. The former team of Kushina, as well as the heads of the Hyuga and Uchiha clans, were in attendance. Hiruzen then began to summon the Monkey King again that night. As Menma appeared, he greeted his partner, but appeared bandaged from the night's fight. Hiruzen, don't tell me the boy is gone. Don't tell me. Hiruzen stopped his friend and summoned companion. That is not why I called you, Enma. I need your senses to scan the room with the Uchiha and the Hyuga to ensure that I have no unwanted ears in the room. After a moment, Enma heard the heartbeats of everyone in the room, the hearts of the three Genin, two Uchihas, two Hyugas, Hiruzen, the newborn, and when he found another heartbeat behind the bookcase, he slammed his foot through through it and pinning the member of Root to the wall before they could escape. Sadly, they used a seal that crushed their vital organs, and they died in an instant. Danzo should have known. Danzo should have known. Danzo should have known he'd pull something like this. Are there any more? Are there any others, Enma? No, sir. But I am curious as to why you have Kushina's team with the Hyuga and Uchiha clan heads here. Let me seal the room, and I'll get to it. After placing not only a silencing barrier, but a blood barrier and a time-space barrier that Minato and Kushina taught him, he began to read the scroll left for little Naruto. Finished with the scroll that was addressed to Naruto and anyone that took care of Naruto. None of the Kunoichi had dry eyes, and the rest had solemn looks. So he really is Sensei's son. We will do everything we can to take care of him, Hokage-sama. I'm sorry, Yugao, but I can't allow anyone to adopt a clan heir. But I will assign an SS rank mission to the 7 of you. At the mention of the mission rank, both patriarchs of the Hyuga and the Uchiha clans went pale. SS rank missions were classified as there was to be no record of it ever happening, and all accountability discarded. If the mission detailed leaving the village, then markings linked to the village were to be said shinobi, and if traced back to the village, the shinobi was to be killed as a traitor. Don't go pale on me, Hayashi and Fugaku. I'm not sending you to your deaths, not yet. At least, I need you all to be the caretakers of the royal heir of the land of whirlpools, Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. When the Hokage said the full name of the newborn boy, everyone couldn't keep their jaws off the floor. What was everyone's response to the baby's name and title? Lady Mito, the wife of the first Hokage, was the niece of the leader of the Whirlpool. By the time Kushina came to Konoha, Lady Mito was getting ready to pass on and wanted another Uzumaki in the village to take on the clan head role. So the leader of Whirlpool sent his granddaughter, who was Kushina. When Lady Kushina arrived, we were getting reports that Whirlpool were under attack, but we arrived far too late to save any other Uzumakis. Those that remain are scattered amongst the nations as refugees or captives, and the only ones who we know of in the leaf are little Naruto and Lady Tsunade. What? Becoming more and more serious. Hiruzen's hands and mother boy. Regardless of whether or not you are accepting this mission, I am ordering you all to sign this blood contract, to never speak of anything you heard in this room tonight, unless I or Naruto himself reveals this information to the world. Not only does his father have an entire nation seizing for revenge in any form, but him being the last of the royal line of Whirlpool will have every nation, including the individuals responsible for his parents' deaths, hunting him, whether it be breeding stock, revenge, or an access key to the royal blood seals that are still active in Uzoshio. Seeing the severity of the consequences, everyone signed the contract. Even Enma volunteered to sign. I will be placing him in the orphanage only until one of you genin becomes a jonin or an Anbu state or has Anbu status. Taking care of this boy means you will have to consider all other nations, even our allies, as threats. This includes those that live in our own village as well. Speak nothing to those in your clans and gain strength to take care of the one, to lead our village and possibly the world to true peace. Hiruzen took the boy to the orphanage, closest to Konoha Tower, closest to Konoha's Hokage Tower, where he would stay for a few years until secrets were revealed. Time skip 3 years. Naruto was playing at the park near the orphanage when the parents came to take the other children. He heard something terrible. From now on, you are never to play with that boy. He's not normal, and he's nothing but trouble. If I catch you around him again, you're grounded. He heard this from one of the mothers, and the rest of the parents were saying things that were similar in nature. As he tried to go into several stores and businesses, he noticed being kicked out, overcharged, given expired or spoiled food, or a combination of them. He was even kicked out of activities and restricted to his room for several fiscal reasons, as well as denied food for several days, up until his 4th birthday, where he was kicked out of the orphanage. Being told it's no place for demons, he snuck back into his in to get his belongings, only to find his room had been cleared and his things had been burnt in a bonfire in the play area behind the orphanage. As well as he was walking down the street, down the street of the village, he came across Ichiraku Ramen, the shop, and stopped before walking in, only to be waved out inside by the owner and Chef Teuchi. After a long conversation between Naruto, Teuchi, and his daughter Ayame, as well as the 24 bowl of ramen, the young boy is attacked by a mob of angry drunk civilians. While running for his life again, Naruto gets cornered in a dimly lit alleyway. We finally have the demon brat where we want it. Boys, we can finish what the 4th started and end this demon for good. Terrified and with nowhere to run, Naruto is tortured, beaten, battered, and bruised for hours until Anbu realized the massive group in the alley and notified Hokage. As Hiruzen arrived to see Naruto in such a horrid, bloody state, he produced enough killing intent that would make even the Sannin fall to their knees. What in the fuck is going on here? Do any of you realize what could have happened if you truly managed to kill the precious boy behind me? If the boy dies, we all die. Naruto didn't hear anything else before unconsciousness came over. That wasn't the only thing he saw. Shortly after, he woke up in a sewer system with 2 blue pipes going various patterns, as well as 4 red pipes going different sizes, going in different patterns. Seeing that the pipes were glowing and flowing in a specific direction, he followed the pipes to a large room with 4 large gates and a normal sized door with a red spiral on it. As he slowly inched forward, he was curious as to what could possibly be locked in such massive gates. The moment he reaches for the center of the area, he notices a massive red slitted eye to his far right. To his far left, he only hears a loud buzz as he's hearing a large amount of insects. Closer to the normal door were 2 gates, other than the one he noticed something from. On the left, closest to the center door, was a single yellow eye surrounded by red, and and the right of the center door, a yet seemingly normal turquoise eye. So this is our jailer. He looks too naive and weak for me, said the far right gate. He looks adorable. I can't wait to be friends, said the far left. So much potential in such a small child. Maybe he has gained our abilities after all this time, said the center right. The boy finally arrived. Let's not scare him to death. We all know how painful it is to reform, said the center left. After hearing such loud, blooming voices, young Naruto is utterly terrified of where he ended up. He almost wished he he was back with the villagers. Who are you? Where is this place? How do I get back home? Please don't eat me. Seeing the boy shaking in terror and on his hands and knees, the gate on the far left decided to speak. To answer all your questions in order, child. We are the 3, 5, 7, and 9-tailed beasts. Where we are is the juncture of the that connects our seal that lie on your stomach to your own mind. We will tell you how to leave your mind when we have all finished talking to you. From left to right, if you stare at the only ordinary door, you have me as number 7. Next to me is Mr. 3, then Mrs. 5, and Madame 9. If you are 3, 5, 7, and 9, then where are 1, 2, 4, 6, and 8? We don't know, as we have been with you since your birth, but I assume the 1-tail, 6-tail, and 4-tail are all sealed into humans as well, said the 3-tails. Before my previous container was kidnapped from the rock village, it was comrades with the 4-tails container. Thanks to the 4-tails' mastery over lava, his container was able to escape by going in deep underground, said the 5-tails. The other tailed beasts haven't had contact since the first Hokage, other than the 3-tails with the 6, the 5-tails with the 4, and 8-tails with 2. The humans started to seal us inside them afterwards, said the 9-tails. Do you know what's behind the door in the middle? Asked Naruto. It was there when we realized we were sealed inside you, child, said the 3-tails. You are waking up in the normal world, child. If you wish to speak to us again, meditate and focus on entering your mind, the 5-tails said. Before Naruto could say anything, he opened his eyes to hear the beeping of hospital equipment. He looked around until he saw the Hokage, only to hear him say, "Hey, you're finally awake." Gigi. Where am I? What's going on? Naruto said while being worried. Calm down, Naruto. You're in the hospital. Is there anything you remember from last night? The third Hokage asked. I remember going to the nice ramen place, and they gave me a few bowls of ramen even though I didn't have any money. It was the best ramen I've ever had, and I was planning to go back after. I got my allowance from you, but on my way back to the tower, I got chased into an alley by a lot of villagers calling me a demon. They hurt me a lot, and I fell asleep. And after that I just woke up here, Naruto answered. The civilians and the few shinobi that were in the group responsible for harming you have all been taken care of, and they won't be able to hurt you anymore. When the doctor says you're alright to leave, I'll take you for some ramen, and I'll be here back when you're allowed to leave, okay? When Naruto heard this, he couldn't help but smile. Yay! I get to see Ayame-chan, Naruto said. Naruto, stay in bed and get your much needed rest. Once you're cleared by the doctor, I'll pick you up, Lord Third had told the boy. Gigi, before you go, I have a question. Who are my parents? Naruto asked him. I'm sincerely sorry, Naruto. I can't tell you who your parents are for your own safety. There are entire countries that would go through anything to get to you if they knew that you were their son. Some would want to kill you, control you, make you a slave, and some would want to cut you into small pieces just to get back at your parents. When the time is right and you're strong enough to defend yourself, when the time is right and you're strong enough to defend yourself, until the time is right, I cannot tell you, because of those that would try harm you inside and outside of the village. The only thing I can tell you is that the day you were born, I watched your parents sacrifice themselves in order to save you, in order to see you live, Lord Further had explained. Okay, Gigi, please don't wait too long, for Naruto said. When the third Hokage had left the room, Naruto had laid back in his bed and focused on going back to his mind. Naruto couldn't get back to his mind for a while, until, eventually, something clicked. Naruto suddenly felt lightheaded, but at the same time, he opened his eyes to see that he was back at the place, back in front of the four gates and the door. Naruto started speaking, until the Seven Tails would start speaking to Naruto. I see you're back, Naruto. I'm guessing that you finally found out how to enter your own mind. Now, what do you want? I thought you were meant to be scared of us. Why are you back? Said the Nine Tails. As the Nine Tails says this, the Seven Tails then says, now, Kurama, there's no need. He is our jailer. Remember, you should have some respect for him at least. Do you not see the potential he contains? If this potential was to be realized, do you understand that he would be just as strong as our father? No, even stronger. Yes, that's true. He'd be way stronger than our father. The Three Tails would have replied and would have agreed with the Seven Tails. The Five Tails then would speak up. Now guys, do you not understand? The kid is confused. He needs some context on who father is. He shouldn't even be worthy enough to know who our father was. None of these humans should be. They've all jailed us. They've betrayed us. The ones who were meant to protect them, keep peace. They all betrayed us and treated us as weapons of mass destruction. Weapons to be used for war, murdering, or suffering. We shouldn't be helping them or this child. I don't care who he is, the Nine Tails would have replied. At this point, the Five Tails would have actually got a bit angry by replying to Kurama by saying, Now, Kurama, you don't understand. This child has done nothing. He's new to this world, and from what I can see a kind-hearted little boy, not a hateful man who would seal you guys away. Naruto was just a baby when this all happened. Do you not understand? He had no say in this. Maybe you should think before you speak, you damn fox. Obviously, this shut up the Nine Tails, as the Three and the Seven Tails were actually a bit, taken aback. The Five Tails never really does this. She'd never go against Kurama, but clearly, she has some sort of, love for Naruto. Something that they can all feel. But suddenly, they heard footsteps coming from the door in the middle. Footsteps could be heard. Coming through the door would be Kushina, Uzumaki. The four-tailed beasts would look at Kushina. Kurama would roar, whereas the other three would just look in anticipation to see the reactions between mother and son of reuniting. Kushina looks at Naruto for a good 2 minutes. Naruto, all this time, he was confused, silent. He was a bit scared, but at the same time he knew that he wasn't in danger for some reason. He then looked at Kushina, and something in his heart was telling him to just run up to her and hug her. But who was Naruto to do that? Naruto was a demon. The words of the villagers and shinobi came back to him. Demon, you don't deserve love. You deserve death. You're the reason why the fourth died. Everything came back to Naruto's mind as he would start trembling, falling to his knees, holding his two arms, trying to hug himself. He was scared, until Kushina would run up to Naruto in tears, hug him so tight, Naruto's ribcage would start shattering. Metaphor, obviously, or exaggeration. Obviously, Naruto would be confused, but he would return the hug and start sobbing in his mother's arms. Kushina would say, my dear son, how much I've missed you. Naruto would cry, although he was perplexed at what Kushina just said. Son? I'm your son? Kushina would then lift Naruto up and look at him, and she would then reply by saying, yes, you're my son. And that's where I'm going to end part 1. Hope you enjoyed this wave / fanfiction. This fanfiction is actually only 1 chapter long, and I am going to continue it by myself. Literally, it came out pretty recently, but I wanted to continue it, and I will leave a link down in the description below for you guys to read the first chapter. But there are no other chapters. I've read through the first chapter, and I've created a bit of my own chapter 2, and I will be continuing this story in my own way, making it a bit more than 3 or 4 parts. But anyways, my ducklings, you're dismissed.